Here we go. How important is sex to men?
What age?
There is some truth to that too. There is some
I've never heard that. He said depending on the age.
What age?
Some truth to that.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something else. Now I'll tell my.
And then I want to hear Rob.
I want to hear Rob. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, I'm gonna get talk to it. Let me talk to it.
I'm gonna be quick with this one. When I first got divorced from my wife, and then about a year later, I made my top 10 list of if I ever get married again and get another girlfriend, these are the 10 things that she has to have.
It's not like that. It's been 20.
Okay.
And then no, each few years that
it gets smaller.
It changes. The 10 things change.
Okay. Right.
And so if sex was up in the top half, it may not be in the top half at this age.
In this stage of life. Exactly.
Right.
That's what there's some truth to that. Exactly.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to say sex is very important to a man. I mean, it's like high, like extremely high. But I will agree with you as you get older, because it's not just about sex. Because you got to have a brain too. Because after sex, we got to be able to talk. We got to be able to communicate. We got to be able to have some understanding, just like what we said. So if all we got is sex, then that ain't enough. Because if we have sex and I can't understand what you're saying, you can't understand what I'm saying, we got problems.
Yeah. But think about this. I'm probably old enough to be your father. And so when you get to be my age, again, I'm telling you from experience, that perspective is going to change. Now, you a married guy.
Thomas Griffin speaking now.
Charles Williams, who I was blessed to be able to write a book about when he had his prostate cancer, he said that one of the frustrations of the disease was he was no longer able to perform. Right. And he said it made him think that he was no longer a man. And he said that he had a good mate at that time, and she taught him that there are ways to make love other than sexually.
Right.
And that there were ways of intimacy that didn't involve even taking your clothes off. So as long as you understand, now I don't mean to minimize it, because I know, sex is important in the world.
It is important.
Can't play like it's not, because Absolutely. It is. We can't fool ourselves.
Right. Absolutely.
But if you have the right relationship and you build that kind of relationship up, let's put it like this. If everything was right, but the sex couldn't happen anymore, and if the sex was great, but everything else was wrong, that first relationship is going to last. That second relationship is going to fall apart.
Right. I want to touch on that too, because I think we missed the point when we make sex. We have divorced sex from the rest of our humanity. So that sex is an act we participate in for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however many minutes you go. and yet that's not intimacy, right, and the spiritual connection that relationships should be. Anybody can have sex.
Right.
That's why I make a distinction. But when people talk about it from a different kind of perspective, which I consider a spiritual one, and that's again not necessarily but spiritual one. A spiritual one, we talk about making love. Mm-hmm. If just from the language alone, just linguistically, if you believe God is love, then if I'm going to be with you, when I make love to a woman, I am making God. It is an act of worship. It's a whole bunch of stuff, and I cannot just worship you with my hands. I love the Lord. When we worship God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength. If I'm not loving you 4 ways, I ain't had sex with you yet.
Good God, that's a break.